Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. So, as some of you may or may not know, we're also streaming on the YouTube, amongst other places. No, just YouTube and Twitch. YouTube has 1440p, 60 FPS, and is much higher bitrate. So definitely, if you want the big image quality, then that's where you should go. But if you like all the, the chat and the fun and everything else, then yeah, you should maybe do this. We want to do that. Ooh, I think I broke something there. Never mind. Right, okay. Try again. Not getting thumbnails on Facebook. Great. There's always something, isn't it? Try again. There we go. Third time's the charm. Yes, I've been playing a lot of the new Dune Awakening beta over the beta weekend. Close to 30 hours when I looked. I was like, oh my god, I've wasted so much time. But yeah, it's one of those sort of games you can't put down easily. Because of the mechanics of the game, largely. But also, I enjoy it. I find it quite fun to play. Punishing? Oh, yeah. Getting gobbled up and being shy Hulud's lunch is definitely punishing. But yeah, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. I was laughing at one point at my own stupidity. Right, let's go to the live screen. There we are. And we're already live screen on. For the YouTube. There we go. Right, okay. Not bad. Yeah, so it's the Monday evening stream. Monday being my Sunday, by the way. If you didn't know. It's like my day of rest for the week. if you could call it such. I'm a bit dark there, aren't I? Looks like I couldn't afford the electric bill this month. What's going on there? That's a bit better. Right, okay. Not that you particularly want to look at me, but it's, if you can have a camera on, at least make sure the camera is working properly. Ryzine, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Nogong, what up, Carlos? What's up? Someone commented on that stream video. For someone who's been playing Anarchy Online for 20 years, you don't pay a lot of attention to the writing on the screen, do you? Number one, I'm looking at 3 different monitors, 2 different chats. Number 2, there's a lot of writing on the screen in that game. Number 3, it's all brand new. And number 4, I missed it. So there you go. X Quality, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Yeah, my voice is a lot better as well. Saturday my voice was toast because I had a cold. Hopefully sounding better now. I think it does. It's a little bit rough, but not as bad as it was. It sounded awful. What we got? We salvage. Okay. Level. I'm having so much fun in AO again on my Fru. Level 135 now. This is something else I probably I did miss while trying out the Dune bit. Beer o'clock, everyone. Yeah, the lack of permanency is it's a killer when you're used to having it. You know, so Dad, yeah. How do you enjoy it? I really enjoyed it, actually. I've got quite a lot to say about the game. First thing is, I wasn't sure going in how much Dune lore would be there, because they're kind of what-ifing the Dune series of books. So if you don't know, and it's out in the first movie, Paul should not have been born. That wasn't the plan. So the Bene Gesserit had a big plan, and the big plan was Lady Jessica would have a daughter. The daughter would be married to the heir to House Harkonnen, and any children the child that those two people would have been the chosen one. Okay, so that was the Bene Gesserit's plan at the beginning of the story, or the introduction of the game. However, Lady Jessica decides, no, I love the Duke, and he wants a son, and I can influence that, because she's Bene Gesserit, and they could do all this stuff. So she decides to have a son, and the son is Paul. So what they've done in the Dune Awakening is gone, well, what if Lady Jessica had gone, no, I'll do what I was supposed to do, I'll have a daughter. So Paul, the big honcho, or whatever, although the more you read the books, the more you understand that he wasn't. But yeah, he's never been born. He doesn't exist. It's all in the start of the game. They run a trailer to explain the place in the universe. You read all the books, even Brian's, I think maybe one or two. How many did Brian do? Was it 4 or 5 in the end? The chapter house stuff. Yeah, I kind of, some things I like and then just want to leave them alone. I'm not saying it's wrong that his son carried on or anything. I'm just saying, me personally. Right, we got our buffs and we've got some stuff. Right. All the books now. Dune, Children of Dune, God Emperor, Dune Messiah, then God Emperor of Dune. Oh God, what's the one where Duncan comes back as a Gola? Yeah, after that one, I can't remember which ones I've read, but those ones I've reread a few times, and I do quite enjoy those. It's very heavy going in the style of writing, but the story's amazing. The world building's amazing. It really is something else. We've got a salvage mission. Okay. Oh, is that? Oh, no. There's no freelancer dude there. I love the beta. Some reminisce. Can't wait for release. Yeah, it's still live now. It was live about an hour ago. I was playing an hour ago. I don't know when the servers come down for the beta, but it's quite closed off as well. A lot of the world isn't there. I got into the 2 maps. It's really hard to discuss without actually showing you. So just quickly, it's an AO stream, but just so I can explain. It might not even be up now, so it might be out of it. No, I'm not updating to the 576 drivers. They're bad. Bad driver, bad. Down. They have issues. Hellgear, welcome. Rage Star, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so just to explain what I mean by the map. That's the explanation thing. So when you watch the intro movie to the game, then it kind of explains where you are in the Dune universe. So the universe is the same universe, but at one point there's a difference. Is it still up? I don't know if it's even still up, so... Are we going off at some point today, my time, I guess? I don't know. Quite a long loading thing. I think that's just it getting into those servers that are going to be, well, rammed at the minute. Yeah, so let's open up the map. So here's my little base in the second area. So you start off sort of down here in this map. And you can see I've been like everywhere in this map. If it's greyed out, I haven't been. If it's not greyed out, I've been there. So haven't been there, haven't been there, haven't been there. So, and I haven't looked at these areas. This is the Haga Basin. And now at a certain point in the kind of tutorial, it says, destroy your base and go north. So that's my base down there. I rebuilt it. That's the second base I made. The first one was in the middle there. It was just stupid. So I put it here near some resources instead, which made everything a lot easier. Then eventually it says go north, but you've got to cross this huge expanse of sand. And of course, yeah, the worms come and you get here. So I managed to get all the way to here. Now up there is like a hub, the anvil. So I built a little base down here from there. You cannot go, you see I've got missions to go here, but you can't go past that little line. It's not open. Apparently it's not open for the regular beta and the beta weekend. But there's a hell of a lot on this map. I get owned when I get there to that. And I want to go there because it's got a lot of components I need to build stuff I want to build. So, for instance, let's come out of that. If I go to the crafting machine I made, so if we go to... So I want to make, no, I don't know, some high-level stuff that you can't get yet. I can't think of anything just now, but yeah, if you look at research, so there's like this gear and this gear here, and it's locked until you've done the test of something or other, which is somewhere along there, but that location isn't open as far as I know. So let's say you want to build this is self-crafting. It's a bit like Minecraft, you know, you can craft in the inventory, but you need a crafting table to do it properly. So it's a little bit like that. So I'm looking and I'm going, oh, some of this gear looks pretty cool. What about some of this? So I can't build out any particle thing. Some of this other stuff, you know. And then Mark II bike, I need iron and that. I can get that, but I've got to go a lot. I've got to go jump through hoops. So there's a bunch of stuff. And then there was, I think, steel weapons, not iron weapons. So the next one up. Oh, was it under, maybe under research? Yeah, so combat. So copper products, iron products. I've done the ones I want to use there, but I can't do steel, because to make steel, you need iron and carbon. And you can't get any carbon. So, yeah, kind of... can I research that? I can't make iron, though. That's the problem. Slaver... Slavers... I don't want slaver gear. You know, so on and so forth. But the carbon isn't happening in this couple of playfields that are open. So maybe in this next one, which you can't get to, it's not open. You go up there, there's a big invisible wall. I tried following the wall here. I got sandwormed, lost my bike and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I've been all the way up there. That was a massive climb. The transversal in the game's excellent, I have to say. Graphically, it looks fine. It looks great to my eyes. I've already died recently, so I'm in basic gear again. But I have learned to do certain things. So, for instance, like, I eventually made one of these. I think I want there. So now you see when the mist at night, there's a little mob there. So I can come here. I can harvest the dew off the things. And fill up with just pure water so I don't have to drink blood. I keep the blood for the machinery. Filthy water, full of chemicals. Okay for machines. Yeah, just like Dune Part 2 movie. They cover that there, so. And these are sort of all over the place, these little things. There's one there. And if I look, yeah, there's another one just across the way over here. I can fill a little receptacle and then that'll last me on a desert crossing and such. Because these are everywhere. But obviously, this time, you know, late at night is when you want to be harvesting it. Hey, dude. Shai Halud. How's it going, my dude? Okay, I think I've nearly filled that container now. There you go, yeah. Spilled 80 milligrams of water. And that container is in my inventory. Where are we? Somewhere. It's there anyway. Oh, it lives there rather than your inventory. Okay, well, that's it there. A litre John. And if I... that's on number 8. So I can drink water from that. I need a better pistol, but I haven't... better rifle, but I haven't got the parts to make the rifle I did have before Shai Halud ate me the last time. So to make that rifle... Okay, I need mechanical parts, and you go, right, where do I get mechanical parts? And then, you know, you check your map. If you haven't explored, you're just not going to know. Mechanical parts are there, and that's a PvP area, whereas here, you can get them there, and build the speeder bike, but that's not a PvP area, but you've got to cross a massive chunk of desert, which will probably get you killed. So, anyway. So, yeah, there's that. Combat, little bit jank. But I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it at all. It's a Funcom game. Of course, the combat's a little bit meh, you know. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's excellent. So, yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it, yeah. How's about... Yeah, I've had my fill. God, how long have I actually played for now? 26.3 hours. That's long enough. That's long enough. I don't need more time. Well, I'd say that. Yeah, because if it carries on, for me, I'll get frustrated because I want to build better gear and go and do more stuff, and you can't because that stuff isn't readily available. Apparently there's a way to get it. There's little treasure chests on drum sand, but you need the right scanner to get on a bike in order to get it. Oh, and you can do away with fall damage in the game as well, but you can't by default. If you jump off a cliff, yeah, you or even a fairly steep ledge, you're going to get damaged or die. But you can get a like field disruptor thing. You know what you see in the movie, don't you? And it's described in the book, but you know, they drop down like in slow motion as they come down. Some sort of like displacer field or something. So yeah, it's pretty epic. And you can build one of those relatively easy. You just got to keep an eye on your inventory to make sure that it hasn't broken or been worn out, because if it does get broken or worn out and you jump off something steep with it, oh dearie me, it's not working and you're gonna take a ton of fall damage when you didn't think you were. So yeah, you're constantly sort of monitoring what's going on with your character and their gear, which is very much how it would be if you were trying to survive in that environment. Funcom without some way out of fall damage. Well, they will. Yeah, oh no, I mean, I can't show it. Well, come on, it's an AO stream. I don't want to keep going back to the game. Does the AO chat work for you? Seems to be. Oh, maybe not. That didn't work. Test. Chat configuration. Default window, vicinity loop message. No, it's not working. Chat server's down. Oh my god. It's same for, yeah, so it's not just you, Raziel. It's, yeah, I think it's all of us. Yeah, I love the climbing in it. That's brilliant. You know, when you get to a rock face and think, oh, but you can't just climb the whole thing. You need to look for resting places while you catch your breath, because if you run out of stamina on the rock, you're coming down. So yeah, you've got to plan your route still, but you can climb a lot. But once you get the field disruptor, not a shield, the thing to, you know, do away with suddenly hitting the ground at speed. If you do drop off, you're like, oh, I'm all right, you know, but oh damn, I've got to start again, you know, which makes it a bit less crazy. I got up to the highest point on that map, the second map, and you can see with the draw detail, you can see miles into the next territory. It's really cool. Yeah, it worked for me. Tells are working because I used a tell. Unless that stopped working since I got it. Darknet seemed to be working just. So did I hit that just before chat went down then? Oh, I'm talking to the wrong desk. Mission complete. And there's your doohickey. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing that game. I'll maybe give it a bit more time to cook after release, because some of it is a little jank. Like I talked to an Atreides representative. I thought, oh, you know, I'm gonna do the join House Atreides. But there's so much of the lore in the game, much more in there than I thought there was going to be. I thought, oh, it'll be a survival game with the Dune skin, but it's not. There's a great deal of the lore is in there. You know, you just go up to a random NPC and start talking to them, and they've got all this dialogue, you know. It's like, wow. And it all ties into the, you know, the original books and stuff. Yeah, let me just say, if you've got a macro for the bot, does that work? Let me just give it a test. Okay, I did it before. Yeah, that stopped working, so it has just happened then. Because I came here, God, 10 minutes ago? Yeah, so no buff bots either. Tells don't work. I thought maybe I'd somehow gotten around it by using a macro, but I had not. So 18 minutes ago it was working. Now it ain't. There was a bit of a delay logging in. I know that, and I just thought, oh, yeah, it doesn't mean anything, you know. I've been, you know, hammered into... What's this it's given me? Shotgun. Well, that would be everything broken if it was the old game, because you used to have to do quests and whatnot by talking in chat to the NPC. Diseased. Here we go. Yeah, I've had a blast with the Awakening beta. I'd need much more of the game opening up to carry on playing. I think I'd start getting frustrated because I couldn't progress. Because the areas where the items you need are, you can't get to because they're not open, you know. So yeah, that would be difficult. But all in all, yeah, I've had a good time with it. But it's like if you're on your way somewhere, you kind of like crabbing between, you know, deadly sand and rocky outcrop, and you're constantly thinking like that. If you try and beeline it from A to B, Shai Hulud's going to come eat you. And even on a speeder, makes no difference. You can't outrun him on that. He's way faster than a speeder. I mean, you can kind of... If he's coming straight at you, the only thing you can do is, you know, make a beeline for the nearest outcrop. Yeah, can't use the warps either, of course not. They all rely on the chat engine, being able to communicate to other players. But yeah, I've genuinely enjoyed my time with it over the beta, and yeah, and enough that yeah, I'll buy the game. Apparently, it's non-subscription based either, so you just buy it and play it. I'm sure there'll be some kind of, you know, cash shop or something. There has to be. But yeah, it's very cool. You know, I kept my expectations relatively low. Sort of survival game, is it really my thing? Because I, you know, like there's bits and bobs on this character I've got that, you know, the no drops and stuff that will always be on the character. But if Shai Hulud comes along and eats you, you spawn back naked. You're there in your boxes. That's it. Excuse me. Beta is what it is. Yeah, I just wish more of the world was open. It feels very small once you get a speeder. Even though, well, no, actually, it doesn't feel small. But you can see where all these other little areas are, and you're like, yeah, but I want that. You know, so, yeah. I forgot a buff there. There we go. Yeah, you get these like random little drops, and you think, "Oh, I'll never get that again." You know, like the first disruptor I got that stops the fall damage was like virtually falling apart from a chest or something like that. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like jumping off higher and higher rocks to test it, and then until it actually kicked in. It kicks in just before you're going to take fall damage, and then you get the as you descend, and you do slow down as well, so it feels like it's happened, you know. But while you're falling, if you turn around and face a rock and hit jump, you grab it anyway. So yeah, the mechanics are there. Some geometries needs a bit of polish. There's a cave near my camp where I go in just to farm stuff. But there's like a rock going up to it, and then it goes down a bit, and then an overhang and a lip to get in there. And every time you get stuck in the climb animation trying to walk into the cave while the mobs are shooting at you. So there's only one area I've come across that, but yeah. And the fights are quite... It took me a while to figure out how to deal with the shield guys properly. Oh. Yeah, slow blade penetrates the shield, but not if they get out of the way, it doesn't. So you have to keep, you know, sometimes you've got to try it a couple of times. God knows what that's going to be like on tougher mobs, or how the hell that's going to work in PvP, I don't know. I imagine not very well. This will never happen in AO unless guinea pigging for another game. When you go MA and then a special guest will let you fight. Like Ip Man. Yeah, or something. Yeah, it was Jet Li, wasn't it? Ip Man. Yeah, shame he got ill, didn't he, Jet Li? He was amazing as well. He was actually quite a versatile actor, as it turned out. Not only was he, you know, amazing at martial arts, but also he could act really quite well. You watch, oh god, I can't think what it's called, where there's like a multiverse, and the evil version of him is going around killing all the other versions of him, and he's the last one. Some of the effects are a bit janky and yada yada yada. Donnie. I don't think it's called Donnie. I can't actually remember what it's called. Yen. What? Someone says yen, I think of the currency and Yennefer from the Witcher game. Jet Li movies. No, he's such a cool guy. I feel bad that he became ill. It's quite an oldish movie. The One, that was it. Yeah, I do love that movie. It's not rated that highly, but I just really like that movie. He gets to play dozens of different versions of himself, albeit in small little tiny doses or whatever. But he threw himself into that. You want me with a blonde wig and dungarees? Yeah, okay. You know, and that's that version of me from Universe 578 or, you know, some of the crazy stuff. Yeah, that's a shame, man. I can't remember what actually happened with Jet Li. I know he got ill, but I can't remember what it was. Chinese-born Singaporean martial artist, Singapore being a completely different country. He is still with us, isn't he? Yeah, why did he stop acting? Combination of health issues and shifting priorities towards charity work. Hypo, weight loss, and right, okay, yeah, he just became ill. It was very, very sad. The guy was great. Brazil. I am not in a team. Yeah, and it black holes anyway. Are you done with bow MA? No. It's just easier to level without bow. Until I can get big bow. Once I can get Chaos of the Zan, I think it's back on. But it's like in between then and now. Running around with that. Just really, everything was just taking too long. Bruce Lee, I mean, he massive. He can't understate his influence. But as an actor, as a martial artist, yeah, incredible. But actor, not so much. But he wasn't really an actor. He was, you know. But he was, you know, everyone's heard of the guy. He made his own legend. You can't undermine him in that respect. You'll probably remember him as the blind guy in Rogue One. Donnie Yen. I know the blind guy in Rogue One, but I remember him before Rogue One. Donnie Yen. What else has he done? I know he's done other stuff. Donnie, his real name, as that is. Yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff, but I can't think what it is. Yeah, he was in the Ip Man movies. I know that. John Wick. Yeah, he was in that. He was great in that. Monkey King. No, I've not seen that. Mulan. I'm not seeing the live action. Yeah, Rogue One. Crouching Tiger. Was he in the original Crouching Tiger? With Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, Blade 2. Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of these I've seen. And yeah. And I think a lot of the stuff is East Asian cinema. So, Holy Mother of a Buff Command. How many NCUs does that cost? What? What, that? Not much. 591, including my own buffs. Which isn't that much at this level. Yeah, I tried sending you a tell or a team message saying, hey, thanks for team. No, you are not in a team. I am, though. Game doesn't believe me. Yep, well, they're having fun in that guild. As you do. Yeah, Bruce Lee, yeah, an incredible person, an amazing human being. Actor? But in the same way, Tom Cruise is not much of an actor, but he's Tom Cruise, right? You know? Full damage of the grid. Hell no, this is the Matrix. Well, you're digitized in the grid, so gravity doesn't apply. He's a good stuntman, he's a good spokesperson, he's got like a gazillion tons of energy, he's very cool. But he basically plays Tom Cruise in every movie. You know, he's a movie star more than he's an actor. I mean, Gary Oldman is an actor. Whichever role he's in, he's that role. From a, young psychopath to one of, history's greatest leaders, Winston Churchill, to, Vlad the Impaler. It doesn't matter. You can get Chewie's grid if you wave at Chewie. I don't know if that works. Schwarzenegger isn't. Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. He's a bad actor too, but Conan, he just works so well in those roles, yeah. You just completely, that's the guy. But Conan Arnold, a great guy, incredible individual. Look at what he's done with his life, how motivated he is and the good he's done in the world, and admirable person. Actor? I'm not having a go at these people. I'm just sort of saying, I wish I had half his vigor and commitment to everything he does. I would get everything done, and it would all get done properly. Unfortunately, I am not Arnold, and my life is a succession of that'll do. Which is not the same thing. But when you talk about actors, some people are very good in certain roles, but that's because they're not really acting. They're just, What's better, playing AO and having your life or Arnold's life, I wouldn't swap with Arnold because then I wouldn't be married to my wife, and I love my wife. So I wouldn't swap places. Even though he's, gazillion dollars rich or whatever, but, I basically play AO when I stream. So that's how much a week I put into AO, which is, compared to how it, oh god, you know, when I first started playing, I was too heavily into it, 20, 30 hours a day. Okay, not 30, but you know what I mean. Way too much time in it, and now I don't. Now I, you know, I log in when it's time to play. And I log in because I still enjoy playing. It's all very familiar and everything else, as you might do your dailies and log out. Yeah, I mean, some people that's kind of it, but depends what you're working on, doesn't it? Okay, where are we up to? High 80s, my prediction. 83, not far off. Jason Statham, yeah, I mean, again, great in the right role. Great English hard guy, but that's exactly how he comes across. You know, his face fit. It's like Vinnie Jones. Always plays basically Vinnie Jones, you know. No, Arnold is fucking, you know, he does have a doctorate or degree in business and a bunch of other stuff, and, you know, far from dumb. And look at what he's done with whatever his abilities he's got. He's far from stupid. You know, but I'm just saying, as an actor, it's a different thing, you know. I'll tell you how it works for me. Is like, a good actor is someone who, when they're in a role, you don't see the actor, you see the character they're playing. And for me, that's people like Gary Oldman and that. I killed 100 roller at GTFO. And he's played God knows how many roles, you know. Yeah, he started with bodybuilding and look what he turned it into. It's incredible. You know, God, you know, if we could all be that determined, that work, you know, that focused and everything else. And look how well it worked for him, you know. He created his own genre. Have you seen Kindergarten Cop? Yeah, like about 100 times. It probably is, yeah, but did you see him in, what was the one where he's pregnant? Have you seen that one? You know. He doesn't always play the big action tough guy, but when he does a really, really, I mean, he kind of defined the role for the 80s and 90s, didn't he? Some role we didn't expect from him. Yeah, but at the beginning of Kindergarten Cop, you know, he's playing Arnold the action hero and Arnold the dad. That's what he's playing in that. So he drew on being on his own fatherhood, having to deal with kids. And that's why it works so well, you know. All right, getting a beer. Danny DeVito. Yeah, well, again, this is... Danny DeVito can do... I think he's more versatile. He can do a lot of other stuff as well. Method actors can do themselves immense damage. Yeah, Daniel Day, yeah. Oh my God. His chat down in AO. It is Mega Meek. Don't know what's going on with it. The pain in the backside is what it is. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Yeah, those were the last chats I saw, Darknet. And then I got some buffs, and then nothing since. I think Paladin raid time, that's going to be a fun time. Better get on Discord. Or something. Right, we now require a Doja. Yeah, there's a lot of actors that go, put themselves through a lot for a role. I think one actor said, "Oh my God, I'm being asked to lose weight for a role. It's ridiculous." And I was like, "Have you heard of Christian Bale? Have you seen the weight loss transformations that guy went through for different roles? And the years between them are scary." Let me have a look. I think I've got it somewhere. You know what? Yeah, someone correlated them all, how much he weighed at the time and everything else. I don't know if there's a decent size image. Yeah, and the gap between them is bonkers. Oh no, I just no. Open image in new tab. Can we do that? Yeah. So, in 2000, 81 kilos, an American Psycho, and then Reign of Fire, 83 kilos. In 2002, then by 2004 he drops down to 55 kilos for The Machinist, and then in a year bulks up to that, from that, then down to 61, and then back up again to 86 for Batman, all the way down to 68 for The Fighter. Then Dark Knight Rises, he goes back to 90 kilos, and then unbelievably, like nearly 100 kilo there. It's just the time frame he's doing it in is scary. Yeah, when you see The Mechanic, you're like, wait, what? But he looked like this, in a year ago. It's just bonkers. And how much he put on between The Machinist and Batman Begins, it's just crazy. I it was something that came up where a female actor said, "Oh, Hollywood expects female actors to change their weight accordingly for roles." I was like, that's probably fair. Also, Christian Bale. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Certainly Hollywood puts pressure on women to look a certain way and all that. Of course it does. But at the same time, just saying it's for role, I think just Hollywood and Hollywood producers put pressure on women to look a certain way generally, versus changing your body mass for a particular role. I mean, not every actor's going to do it. De Niro did it, didn't he? You know, for Raging Bull and stuff like that. I mean, Christian Bale could have said, I'll do The Machinist, but I'm not losing that much weight. And they'd have gone, okay, but it's not going to work as well. You're playing someone that can't, you know, that is dying because they can't maintain their body weight. You know, how else are we going to do it? We're going to have to find a different actor that's, you know, very thin already, and we'll try and do it with makeup. And Bale's like, no, it's an important story to tell. I'll do it. And it was the director that stopped him from losing even more weight. He said, I could go down another 5 kilos. And the doctors went, no, you can't. You know, there's a real risk, you know, because you've lost so much weight, you know, your organs, your heart and everything is going to give out, kind of thing, you know. But just how much bigger he got afterwards and how quickly he got bigger afterwards is just... To go from The Machinist to Batman Begins just beggars belief. I mean, sure, Hollywood trainers, you know, perfect diet, private gym, and, you know, but even so, the guy still had to do the work and eat. That's a hell of a lot of broccoli and chicken. And not like nice chicken, like, you know, steamed chicken. Mega Meek, have a good evening, pal. See you soon. Indeed. Dude. Rude. Yeah, don't wait till I've started attacking and then start. Or did we both start at the same time there? Probably. Everyone's after a doja at the same time as me. Did he get 20 million for The Machinist? Wasn't a big star then. I don't think he got 20 million for... I don't know, look it up. It's probably there, isn't it? How much he got paid. If he'd have gone from Reign of Fire to Batman, you'd just go, yeah, he already looked the part. But to go from Reign of American Psycho and then bulked up a bit for Reign of Fire and then dropped a ton for The Machinist and then all the way back up again to play Batman and then all the way back down again to play the fighter, the boxing one where he's like a trainer or whatever. Yeah, it's bonking. You're right. Yeah, and 20 million for a film now? Yeah, because he's Christian Bale, right? He's proven himself. You know, he will make the money back at the box office. Christian Bale in 2002. I mean, first thing I ever saw of him, the first thing I ever saw him in, he was playing a child because he was still a child actor. And I gotta be honest, the commitment's there. Even as a kid. It is commitment to the part. And it's quite a hard part. I can't think of the name of the film. It's about the Second World War and expats living in Japan at the time. You know, Pearl Harbor happens and suddenly they all get locked up there in internment camps, as America had its own internment camps. And so on. And I cannot think of the title. I mean, I'm sure if you IMBD, you'll find it. But it's a really good film anyway. He's one of the few survivors of the internment camp because they were, more or less starving them. But he was... The character he plays as a kid is resourceful. So if he catches bugs in the hut, he mashes them up into the porridge. Make sure he's getting enough protein. And he's keeping himself alive any which way. Versus, the aristocratic prisoners who at the beginning are like, oh, it's an inconvenience, but we'll manage. And they're falling to bits after a year or so because, they're not going to eat the bugs. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the movie. One of his very first films, because he's a kid in it, he's not even a teenager in it. Do you remember Johnny Depp's bit part? I barely remember Nightmare on Elm Street. Teen horror. I was a teen when it was happening and watched it, but I didn't find it that big of a thing. You got to remember Terminator came out around the same time, Johnny Depp's bit part on Nightmare on Elm Street when he gets sucked through the bad with his little 14-inch CRT telly. Oh god, I don't know. Yeah, the teen movies I remember of that era were like Karate Kid, Back to the Future. Oh god, Terminator. Those are the movies that stuck with me. Karate Kid, the first one's really good. I don't have this crushing nostalgia for it that I want a TV show of it where they're all old. So I've not watched it. It's like, it's I remember it at the time. I remember the whole cinema getting up and cheering at the end of that movie when he gets that, does the, standing on one leg and then kick, whatever the hell that is. But he does that right at the end of the movie. The whole cinema, yes! You know what I mean? It was just like... And that's the memory, and I can't bring that back. That was, whenever that came out in the 80s, in a cinema, watching it with a... that's what I remember of that movie. Maybe that's why it stuck with me. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to kill this guy because he's just being annoying. And I can't snare or root, so I don't exactly have much choice but to kill him. American Psycho to the Machinist. Yeah. Well, Rain on Fire came in between, and he's bigger in Rain of Fire, which I enjoy that movie. That's one dragon movie you were not expecting. And of course, Matthew McConaughey's in it as well. Very early on in his career, and he's brilliant in it as well. He's a complete nut job. And they've got some really good scenes together in that movie. Yeah, but reign as in the reign of a monarch. Reign of Fire. I did not even realise he was the same actor who had been the kid in the previous film that I'd seen him in. What's that? Oh god, it's going to bug me now. I'm going to have to Google it. not his body weight, which is incredible what he does with it. Yeah, he's younger than me, I know that. Yeah, 74, so he's like 6 years younger than me. He's just hit 50. Bless him. ...1986, Anastasia, don't remember that. Milo, Empire of the Sun, that is an amazing film. That film is amazing. You should see it. So I saw him in that, and the next thing I remember seeing him in was, I think, not until that, American Psycho, because everyone was talking about American Psycho. And then, so that, when was American Psycho? 2000. So I just didn't catch him in it. So Empire of the Sun, 1987. So I was 18. He's 6 years younger. He was 12 in that. And then the next thing I see him in was American Psycho. And then I see him in Reign of Fire. You should watch. It is much better than the IMDb score. Honest to God. And of course, Matthew McConaughey. I can't pronounce his name. There he is. That's Matthew McConaughey. How'd you say his name? Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, anyway, there's him. There's Christian. And they are fighting dragons. And Gerard Butler. This is Sparta. Is in it as well. With his own accent. Which is pretty cool. Gerard Butler, yeah. McConaughey. That's it, yeah. I've got the Dark Knight trilogy on Blu-ray, and I've had them for a long time. But yeah, honestly, yeah, those three movies, I think, well, 1 and 2 especially 2, is Batman is best when he's playing against a strong yet sympathetic villain. So you've got what's his face? Qui-Gon. I have a particular set of skills which make me a nightmare for people like you. And I will find you, and I will kill you. Oh, what's his name? Leeson or something. Yeah, he's good. He's brilliant because you kind of believe where he's coming from in the first Batman Begins movie. He trains him, shows him everything. Taken, yeah. What's he? Liam Neeson, yeah. Really good, subtle, understated actor. You know, the menace you feel with him. The first film I saw him in had Daryl Hannah in it as well. And he plays the ghost of someone. It's him, and who was the guy that did all the Police Academy movies? Do you remember the actor? Like, he really blew up. He was about as famous as Tom Hanks at the time, but Gutenberg, something like that. Always played kind of an everyman, American, you know, the American suburban everyman. He kind of like nailed that until Tom Hanks came along, and Tom Hanks is just really good at that. Yeah, and it was, I can't think what it was called. It was him, Daryl Hannah. Liam Neeson's only a small part in it. It's not Ghost, it's not Haunted. I can't think what it's called. Oh dear. Police Academy. Police Academy, 1984. What was the guy's name? Steve Guttenberg. Yeah, he was like always playing those. The American suburban everyman in tons of movies. I'm sure he's still working, but, you know, him and Tom Hanks kind of occupied a lot of the same acting space at the same time. Well, he's busy. He's never stopped working. Yeah, Cocoon was the big one I remember with him. And, you know, obviously Police Academy when they came out. But there was another one he was in. 12 Tales and Legend, Police Academy, Short Circuit, yeah, Bedroom, no. Surrender, no. Three Men and Baby, no. Cocoon, The Return, no. Big Green, no. Zeus and Roxanne. It's one with like a... He falls in love with someone who's a ghost. Was he in Splash? He was in Splash, wasn't he? Oh, no, Splash was Tom Hanks, wasn't it? Yeah. What the hell was that movie? Daryl Hannah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's been in loads and loads and loads and loads. Paper Doll, Blade Runner. Was she in Blade Runner? I don't remember her in Blade Runner. Maybe she... Oh, of course I remember her in Blade Runner. Yeah, she is a good actor. In case you forget that's her. Splash. There was another one. It's not here. I remember it. Had her, him, and Liam Neeson in it. It's not as late as any of these. It's like, was it the movie actually that bad? You know, they spoke MIBD. Please don't put it on the site. Don't anyone watching it. I hope not, because I didn't think it was that bad. Yeah, way before all of these. It was like an 80s movie, but like about a ghost or something. High Spirits, that's the one. Yeah, Daryl Hannah's a ghost. Steve Guttenberg there. There's Liam Neeson getting off with his wife in the shower. Peter O'Toole's in it, isn't it? It's a stupid, like, ridiculous movie. However, it's a lot of fun. I remember enjoying watching it. Come on, Liam. We know you were in it. You're only on screen for minutes, but I know you're in it. He's not listed. He was in it. I swear to God he was in it. Yeah, what was Tom Hanks's big breakout movie? Because him and Guttenberg were kind of neck and neck for movies and roles in Hollywood, and then all of a sudden everything's Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. God Almighty! Suddenly everything is Tom Hanks for those roles. Was it Big? Was it maybe Big that he did? And that was the breakout movie for that. The Burbs. Oh, that was a good film. what was it, the Klopex move into the neighborhood, and they're trying to make out like they're the Addams Family or something like that. Yeah, and yay Doja, and they're a great supporting cast. They really are. But just like the blind panic overreaction of a suburban white male, you know, it's just so well observed. It's so funny, and it parodies itself. It does not take itself seriously at all either. It knows it's funny. It's not playing for serious commentary, although there is a little bit of that there. But moreover, it's played for laughs. It's a silly film. It's played for laughs. But yeah, I think that was the big one, wasn't it? For Tom Hanks. Let's have a look. And then he got meteor roles as well. That's the thing. After it, he okay, let's do movies. Back up. All. Oh, he did not start acting in 1998. What? You said he didn't exist until then? Come on. This perhaps is some of his better work, but are you saying IMBD that he wasn't in anything until From the Earth to the Moon in 1998? I'm sorry, Apollo 13. Someone? IMBD is not infallible. Money Pit, that was another one, yeah. Tom Hanks, all movies. Maybe you have to click that first. Yeah, this is more like it. There you go. The Money Pit in 1986. Dragnet, yeah, with Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, that was pretty good. Big, 88. Brad Pitt and DiCaprio are movie stars are good actors. More mixed with those two. They do put in a good performance here and there. But I would not put them anywhere near the same level as many others. 1980, He Knows You're Alone. So he did some horror movie. Mazes and Monsters in 82. Bachelor Party, breakout role. Splash, 84. Volunteers, I remember that. Man with the One Red Shoe, don't remember that one. Every Time We Say Goodbye, that's quite serious. Yeah, that's a serious dramatic thing. That's not an 80s comedy, is it? The Money Pit, yeah, that was the one you said. I remember that. Nothing in Common. Dragnet, which was kind of played for laughs. Punchline, Big. Everyone remembers Big. Turner and Hooch. Oh, the dog was the star of that. The Burbs. I really enjoyed that. Joe versus the Volcano. Yeah. Bonfire of the Vanities. I don't really remember in that, but then again, I didn't watch that. Radio Flyer. Don't know. League of Their Own. Yeah, baseball movie. Sleepless in Seattle. I think that made him. I think that was the one. Put him on the map. And then he did a serious dramatic role immediately after, Philadelphia. A really harrowing, real life story. And then lightened it slightly with Forrest Gump, then did Apollo 13. So, yeah, he put himself on the map, really. Lady Skycannon, yeah, chat is down. We don't know what the cause is or when it's coming back, but it is definitely down. People are having to make do with Discord, I think. Yeah, I didn't even get to Green Mile, which was an exceptionally good movie. Brad Pitt, he has turned in some pretty good stuff, and so's DiCaprio, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put them on. I think they are decent actors, but more than anything, they're Hollywood stars. I think they're more star than, actor, but that's not their fault. That's how they're perceived, isn't it? There you go. There's 3 dailies done. I feel like a XP bar just hasn't bloody moved, Castaway, yeah. You think how much he had to do the whole thing pretty much on his own. He's got no other actor to play off of. That must have been difficult to do. Lady Sky Cannon, and hi, by the way. Yes, indeed. Always good to see you, Lady Sky Cannon. He really lost weight in that movie. He kind of bulked up before it as well. I think they deliberately played like he bulked up at the. Well, I don't know how it was shot, because invariably movies are not shot in the order of scenes that we see. They're always shot whatever logistics work out the best way to shoot them in. So if they need him chunky at the start, but that's the first, that's the last day of shooting, then you put the money on, you put the weight on at the end of the movie and shoot those scenes then, or whatever, I don't know if the beard was real. I don't know if the hair was real. I've no idea. It's Hollywood, isn't it? But yeah, he definitely put some weight on the body. I don't think that was a fat suit. So anyway, I'm getting another beer. Dad bod. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because if I think about it, the first role I remember seeing Brad Pitt in was someone in an insane asylum in 12 Monkeys. Excuse me. Let's give the chat a test. Test. Nope, still broke. Yeah, I don't know what else we can do now. Oh dear. I blame the IPA and the cheeseburgers. Yeah, too many calories in, not enough calories expended. You will put on weight. Yeah, pretty much anyway. Yeah, peer pressure. Peter saying Christian Bale definitely a legend, best damn Batman ever. I, I think so, but I think largely that has to be he was able to play off Heath Ledger. May he rest in peace. And Heath Ledger was just like the most terrifying Joker ever. Was Jack Nicholson? Yeah, but when Tim Burton did the Batman movie, he was still thinking of it as, a comic book thing, the 60s TV show. A lot of that was still there. Whereas The Dark Knight is the same departure the Dark Knight comics, graphic novels made. What if we make this real? Someone who's that disturbed by a childhood trauma, willing to do what they do. What if we make that real and play it out? So it's not wearing spandex. It is wearing Kevlar and bulletproof plating. And I mean, Heath Ledger, every nanosecond he's on screen in that movie, it's his movie. He could have just called it The Joker and it would have worked. So the first one's Batman Begins, isn't it? They do the how he becomes Batman. Why does he know how to fight so well and all that? Well, he went to ninja school at the top of a mountain, and so you need that. Establish the character, and then with the Joker, you just don't know where the guy's come from. He just exists, and he is who he is, and that's all. You're introduced to him through his actions and what he does, Bobblicious all chat down. Yeah. Who's my favourite Bond? Unpopular opinion, perhaps. But I really like Timothy Dalton. Don't hate me. I love Pierce Brosnan. I love Sean Connery. I like Roger Moore. And the new guy, I've forgotten his name, Daniel Craig. They've all been brilliant. But honestly, Timothy Dalton was... Yeah, Roger Moore, it was very... Well, we were just talking about the 1960s Batman TV show. I felt like Roger Moore's version of Bond and the way the films were made was very much that. It was almost a parody of itself. Sean Connery was... if you go back and watch those movies, they're so much smaller in scope. Even You Only Live Twice with the rocket base inside a fake volcano and all that stuff. The actual plot and all that is very concentrated. The newer movies tend to have gotten bigger and bigger and more stunts and more everything. But yeah, as they're written, apparently Sean Connery's very close, but Timothy Dalton is pretty good Ian Fleming, off the page. Because the beginning of Ian Fleming's book, Bond is sat on his porch, drinking quietly, thinking about his childhood. That's your introduction to him, so it's quite different. Yeah, it was of its time, though. You got to remember, it was the 70s, so a lot of it feels very 70s with Roger Moore, but why wouldn't it? It was the 70s, that's when it was made, that's where the film crew were from, and yeah, so it's going to feel that way. All right, I'm just nipping to the loo. I'll be back forthwith, no more than a minute or so. Yeah, I think the best M is definitely Judi Dench, though. It just is. Because she comes across, you can tell she's, Shakespearean actor and all of that, and a very good one. But when she has to play someone that's utterly ruthless, she's very good at that. You think back to the first movie she's in with Daniel Craig as well, and went, "Ooh, M's a woman. Why they made it a woman?" And then 30 seconds of her on screen in the role, and you're like, "Yeah, that's M. Utterly ruthless, sending men to their death if they have to for Queen and country, as it was then." Yeah, she. That's how she became. Judi Dench is a legend, to popular culture. She already was in her own right, but yeah. And straight off the bat, they're like, well, I think you're this Bond, which is what the previous Bonds had been. So she puts that to bed. You're misogynistic, chauvinist, arrogant, which is exactly what we need in the field. I accept what you are, however bad it is, but that's what we need right now. Because who the hell else is crazy enough to go on this mission? So yeah, it just works. Yeah, I like Timothy Dalton. Dalton there's two Bonds that lost someone. And there was a guy who only did one movie, but I can't think of his name. But it did have Emma Peel in it, and I love Emma Peel. So, but she does, well, spoiler, she dies. Oh, in the Riddick franchise, yeah, that's her. She just, as soon as she's on screen, it's bang. She's just got your attention, and that's it. George Lazenby, there you go. He was really good. What's good though is because for all Roger Moore's movies and whatnot, and all Sean, there's no remorse for what they've done or what they've lost. And Lazenby was the first one that did that. And Timothy Dalton does that very well in the two. I think it's only two movies he's actually in, isn't it? James Bree. She's a Shakespearean actor. Yeah, I mean, when she talks normally, she sounds like that. You watch her on chat shows and stuff. They say, "Oh, give us a bit of Shakespeare, Judy," as a bit of, as a turn, or sat on a guest couch, and she goes, "Okay," and she just goes, and it's like it's like a switch was turned, and the whole show it feels like the world stopped dead for a minute while she's performing, and she only does like a couple of paragraphs or something, but you could hear a pin drop. She's brilliant. And the original Q, Llewellyn, I know they got another guy in and he's good, but he's not. Yeah, the Llewellyn kind of defined that role. But yeah, Lazenby was a change of Bond, and hear me out. I liked Piers Morgan. I thought he was pretty good as well. You need Fist of Stellar Harmony and Ding buff. Or damage buff, probably. Flash Gordon, yeah. Yeah, he was in that. He was in Doctor Who as well a few times. And That's what I remember him from Doctor Who. I like old Doctor Who. God, when was Timothy Dalton in Doctor Who? Timothy Dalton, there we are. A very charming man. Again, someone that was Shakespearean. A License to Kill. Yeah, he was good in Living Daylights. He was good in both of those, I thought. I really did. All. It won't have all, I bet you. He's been around too long. 1967, Saturday Wild Sunday, lining. Oh, maybe it does. Judge D. Wuthering Heights, Play of the Month, Mary Queen of Scots, Permission to Kill. That. Sex Ed, Entertainment, I guess Charlie's Angels he was in. Okay. Flash Gordon. Jane Eyre. Yeah, so he does a lot of classical literature and Shakespeare and stuff like that. Living Daylights, the computer game. There was a computer game? I think the first James Bond computer game I can think of immediately is GoldenEye. But obviously, when was that? 1989. Okay. Yeah, when was Flash Gordon? Because that's not on here, and he was definitely... Oh, yes, it is. That was 1980. But before that, he was... He was definitely in Doctor Who. I mean, it was the Lord President Razalon. That's a recent one. He was in there. He was in it before. He was in older episodes with older doctors. Yeah, he was... Yeah, he was in that when he was much younger, definitely. What was that? Crazy... What? Crazy Dizzy followed. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, we're playing a game where the chat is broken. So we're talking about movies and movie actors. I'll go back to Shadowlands, pick up a Inferno mission, I think. Looking up Flesh Gordon. No. That's a totally different kind of film. Yeah, he was in Doctor Who years ago, like 70s, I'm sure of it. Oh, what am I doing? I'm a doofus. Oh, I went straight to the garden statue like I was doing something like Doja hunting, and I'm not. Good evening. I was looking into Anarchy Online this evening, and I found it quite interesting and complex. Do you have any new player tips? Be prepared to read. And ask a lot of questions. It's a 2001 game where the in-game tutorials teach you, well, diddly squat. Bugger all, nothing, nada, nil. So you really do have to communicate with the player base to find out how the hell anything works. Because there's a lot. It's very deeply layered. It's incredibly complicated. But once you understand it, it all makes sense. Like a Rubik's Cube, you know, it seems really hard, and then you figure out a few of the moves. Next thing you know, you solved it, and you solve it in a, you know, average person, 5-10 minutes? Yeah, so it's kind of like that. But all the skill systems are interdependent. So there's a lot of synergy going on with them, and that will have to be explained to you by a person because the game doesn't teach it to you. You have to figure it out. Because back then, they had to fit the game on a CD, and they didn't have room for no tutorials. Go figure it out. That was the attitude. So, yeah, it's a deeply interesting and immersive game. It requires a lot of attention, mathematics, quite often spreadsheets. and guides in front of you while you play it. A bit like a D&D, really. It's closer to tabletop D&D as a game than probably most video games. Yeah, and twinking in AO is completely different. So most games, you've got cookie cutter build, everyone just copies it. Whereas in AO, you can kind of stretch the boundaries a lot. As long as, with AO, as long as you have the skill at the time, you can equip certain items. Right, so, for example, like this eye symbiont. So the different levels of skills. So you've got your basic skills, the complete sandbox. So agility, strength, stamina, psychic. But then body dev, that's health. Nanopool, how much, magic you've got. Your evasion skills. And depending on your class, depends on how expensive they are. Then you've got melee weapons, of which, there's lots. And you've got range weapons, range specials, melee specials, your magic skills, I suppose, or your nano skills in this. And then your movement skills, combat and healing, which come into how good heal packs can you use, or how good first aid can you use. And then you've got things like comp lit, which affect how your deck and HUDs work. No, suggested you can't break a character in AO because you can reset. You can completely reset your character, so it doesn't matter. Don't worry about screwing it all up. Everybody did in the old days, and that was when you couldn't reset a character. So we broke all our characters and remade them until we figured out how to play the game. So that's that layer. On top of that, you've got what they call the weapon thing. So you get your belt and these, which are called NCUs, and they're the space for all your spells to live, but also where your weapons go, and then HUD items, of which there's 6. Then you get your clothing, which is your full 6 pieces of armor. Well, 7 if you count the backpack, a neck item, shoulders, etc. Then you get implants, which are inside your body, or your character's body, really. And they, as you can see, like this one, buffs a lot of stuff. So the things you have to do to put this on is, number 1, use a treatment lab. Number 2, be high enough level to do so. So in this case, 154, and have 680 stamina, agility, and strength, and 1342 in treatment. If you can get with twinking all your skills to get there, so buffs from other people, items, rings that give you stat boosts, the 100 you get from the machine that allows you to put implants in, etc. Once it's on, you can reset anything you've done because it stays on and you still get the benefits of it. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Right, so you've done all that, and then on top of that you get perks, which you get as a paid player. Now, these are class specific, but there's also a general tab of them, which you can see here. But there's other things you can do, like ambidextrous. It allows you to wield more than one weapon by boosting the skill in it, which is a melee skill, but perhaps you don't want to put any IP into multi-melee because you don't have enough left over. But you can perk into it, equip rings, get the 2 weapons on, and then reset all of these and go back to putting them in things you do want, so you can attack better, heal better, cast nanos better, or whatever you want better. So you can do all of that and really push it beyond reasonable. So you could have a level 60 character where 4 or 5 of their implants, these are quality 180 and therefore giving you massively higher skills for. And then you ladder all the way back down and do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So you end up building this super duper strong character at that level. And then you get buffs from other characters like traders, etc., like wrangles, which boost skills by 100 and something points depending on your level. And you can get a hell of a lot of stuff done that should be in most sandbox games, everything's locked to a level, so you can't play with that. You have to, you're level 5, you can only use an iron axe. Yeah, but in AO, if you're smart enough with the game mechanics and your knowledge of game lore and where to get all these resources is based, then you can build, your level 60 to perform way above that level. And that's the thing with AO. It has twinking, and no other game does. Does this mean you can become indefinitely overpowered? No. Certain things have level locks to stop that from happening and safeguard against ridiculous builds. Like God mode at level 1. No, not going to happen. God mode at 25 within your own environment at 25, like a dungeon for like the subway at 25. Yeah, with buffs and the right gear, basically unkillable, But you can equip much better gear than you would normally equip in a game if you understand enough about the game. And unfortunately, understanding enough about the game means you need to know a lot, which is a big turn off for a lot of people. But for the rest of us, it makes it super fun to play. It's like a game of Jenga. You've got like all these things you're trying to do at the top, and there's just like 2 little bricks holding it all up at the bottom. So it is a little bit like that, but once you've done it and got that thing in the right slot, easiest starter class is martial artist, because you don't even need to buy a weapon. You can just punch things with your fists. Okay, you won't have special attacks so much, apart from Brawl and Dimash, but, you can do a lot of damage that way. Soldier, I wouldn't say was a good starter class, because you need to understand specials, damage rotation, reflects, ACs, your place in a team, which a lot of the time with Soldier is just about having all those reflective auras running, etc. But that kind of comes later as you get more into it. I cannot explain this game in under 6 hours to someone who's never played it, but I'm trying. So, yeah. I read somewhere this is one of the worst guys. Well, it depends who wrote what you read. Soldier's fine. Soldier's great. A soldier and a doctor can run around the game and kill everything. There's no... But it's not a game that was ever designed to be played solo. If you try to play this game solo and expect it to teach you things, you're going to have a bad time. Number 1, it doesn't teach you. And number 2, it's an MMO. The whole mechanics of the game is designed around the fact you are going to be playing with other people who are playing different classes with different, facilities like healing or whatever, I found Krat. Yeah, Krat's a pet class and has charms, which mean that you have creatures you control that do the fighting for you, and you can stop other creatures or NPCs or whatever from aggroing you for a limited period of time. So once you understand that, maybe that's the way you'd like to play, Are you regularly streaming? Yes. If you go to YouTube, whatever class you pick, I have a Let's Build. I'm not saying you have to watch me, because you don't. But if you go to my channel, there we go, I'm live at the moment. If you go to the playlists, there's a lot of them, I know. I don't know, I've got like 2,000 videos up or something. But yeah, so for every single class in the game, I have a Let's Play. So that's making the character all the way up until that character is max level with tons of nice gear. It's long form. There's no shorts, and there never will be, because vertical video is shit, and I hate it. Sorry, I swore, but, you know. I play this of Prey, the original Deus Ex till it broke. Skyrim. Who hasn't got a Skyrim Let's Play on YouTube, let's be honest. And so on and so forth. So, for Soldier, I think that's Let's Build 7. Or view playlist. So, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, so all the quests, all the way through. Apparently that's in there. That shouldn't be in there. How do I remove? Yeah, that. Yeah, God knows. That's me being a doofus. Yeah, so I got as far as I could with that character. Why is that on twice? That's stupid. Yeah, I should have a tidy around sometime. Anyway, yeah, so whichever class you play, it'll all be there. The other thing I would do is immediately bookmark. Like that. Yeah, this place, Anarchy Online Universe. Everything you could want is on there. How to do something, how it mechanically works, what the skill requirements are, where to find the parts to do it, etc. Because there's a lot of trade skill stuff in the game as well. And so on and so forth. So yeah, it's massively complicated, and I do not expect anyone to get it in less. Give yourself 6 weeks to learn how to play. And that's playing at least 2-3 hours a day for 6 weeks, and you'll understand the game. Any less than that, especially if you don't talk to other people, you're going to be completely clueless about how anything works and think it's all broken and crap, because, you know, it's like trying to understand how to untie a knot, and yet you've never in your whole life seen a piece of string. You can't, basically. You need to be introduced to what the hell string is, what's a knot, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? So there's a lot to know. It's like, explain D&D. Off you go. You have an hour. You can't do it. You know, it's just too much to think about, you know. Sorry, I'm sniffing, and yeah, I had a rotten cold from like Wednesday till Saturday. My voice was in bits, so. You do, yeah. I mean, it's like anything. If you're into fly fishing, you think, well, it's just guys throwing things into the water. No, it's the lay of the land, the light through the trees, the thing, and the time of year and the day, and everything is more than it seems once you learn it. Everything is more than it seems when you actually learn it. So, there you go. I need to go now. Explain marriage to me in 5 minutes, please, Crazy Dizzy. Yeah, right. Not gonna happen. There's this, and then there's that, and then there's, a whole bunch of this, and then there's all, yeah. You get me? It's just, it is deep, and it does require a lot of understanding, and it does take time, so I'm being upfront about what you're getting into, kind of thing, yeah? What's that? Yeah, I didn't get into over-equipping percentages. I thought, let's not overload someone brand new. But yes, you're quite right, Stuart Hall. Yeah. You have to be within 81% when you take all, excuse me, whatever off. Otherwise, yeah, it's not as effective. But, you know. And you'll play, but then there's that whole 95% not PvP, which is apparently a thing in Dune. Yeah, most of the game, I don't know how PvP works in the game. I didn't try it. crossed over a couple of PvP zones, and a player ran over and I went, oh shit, now I die. And they just did squat, 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 bounce, 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 like, don't shoot me, I'm a player, and carried on running in the opposite direction from wherever the hell they'd just gone. You know, so it's probably going to be very different when it's live and you've got millions of people or whatever, but yeah. Happy married life, happy wife, happy life. It's more the buddy system is what that refers to. It's not just defer to everything your partner says. No. It means your job is to keep them happy and their job is to keep you happy. It's a buddy system. You're looking out for each other all the time. You're always in support of each other. That's what makes it work. I mean, that's what makes any friendship work, you know, and it's just marriage is a much deeper friendship than that. Sometimes. Usually. Not always. I don't know. I will do what I can to stop the unredeemed, no matter how long it takes, which will be a while. We'll go for medium solo. I hope you are ready. Me too. Okay, where are you sending me? Oh, nice. Cave. I thought I'm going to have to do 50 rolls before I get a decent location. I was wrong. Yeah, that's what makes it work, guys, is that, you know, be there for each other. Look out, always be looking out for each other, not yourself, not your friends, each other. That's what makes it work. I mean, Mrs. Carlos too gets up in the morning and I say something like, I hear her just, you know, because I'm usually up earlier. And I'll hear her staring and I'll stick my head round the door and go, are you aliving? You know, start the day with a joke. Yes, I'm aliving, sort of. Right, I'll put the kettle on and make you a coffee then, sweetheart. You know, that's it. Just look after each other. That's all you're doing. Those faction missions are only for faction rep and XP. Difficult to say because the playfields you can access in the beta don't expand far enough for you to get too deep into that. So I spoke to an Atreides rep. You know, I'm going to try and be Paul Moadib in it. Of course I am. So I spoke to one of the Atreides reps and they offered me a job and I did the first one and then the second one is in a playfield you can't go to because it's not open on the beta. So I'd love to carry on playing it even in beta if they expand it a bit more, but then I'll be really sad when I have to wave goodbye to that character with all the unique little items they've found along the journey. But that was the same with AO, but that was only a 2-week beta before it released, when they don't do that anymore. Oh, the mission I took in AO? It's an XP mission. It will, if I needed it, grant a certain amount of faction. Faction is dependent on your side. So if you're Omni, you want unredeemed. If you're clan, you want redeemed. And if you are neutral, it's Guardian. Which is, Guardian is used to be the easiest faction to farm. I have maximum already because the modern game is like that. But yeah, anyway, we'll be back in a minute. So in terms of faction, if you have neutral faction across the board, there's my faction window. I don't know if you can make this out. So my redeemed is capped, as is my unredeemed, more or less. That means redeemed mobs never aggro, and unredeemed mobs hate the sight of me. They will aggro me a mile away. Guardian mobs are your typical NPCs, really. They're like, you know, monster mobs and the like. You're not the guy, are you? That would be disappointing. So these are actually Guardian or neutral factions. So if you go T, when you've got anything targeted, it tells you more about them. Now you can buy faction packs in game, which max it out instantaneously and stuff like that. So faction becomes something everyone's more aware of after 200, because it determines how much XP you get for your chosen side hitting things. Crisis. Since in-game chat ain't working, I will watch you for my conversation. Fair enough. Is it still broke? Broke. Yep, still broke. It was working up until just after I started the stream, strangely. No percentage update. So these are called Shadowlands missions, and you can get them in every region of Shadowlands. Oh, there's another so-and-so, the custodian. So if I click on him, he's with the Templars of the follower of the unredeemed. You are seen as dreaded and hated by it. So because my faction is high on the redeemed side, the Omni or unredeemed characters in the game do not like me. You can have 0 faction in the base game around Rubicon. If you're neutral, most areas you can go safely. Neutral areas, Omni areas and clan areas, except for tier. Because Simon Silverstone just hates anything not clan. But apart from him, yeah, you can pretty much go wherever you want in the game. Except, you know, obviously mobs and monsters and whatnot will still aggro. Did you like Dune? Very much, actually. More than I thought I was going to do. Fix-a-lot. Carl, it's sold at. So, Solidag. Chat must be broke. It is. I have my old rank, even though last night it was reset as per the Storm news board. What? I didn't say we were going to reset rank. I'm Presidente. Only I can do that. What Storm news board? What, in game or on a website or something? There's nothing to do with the guild. I'm the president of the guild. I reset rank, not anybody else. I mean, I'm applicant on this character, but I can't do anything about it because I can't type any commands in game. Devil said, well, Devil's not running Storm. I am. Unless somebody didn't tell me and I got ousted, but I can soon check for you. Is Devil even in Storm anymore? I don't think he is. No, that's not it. Might be the ranks on Discord. Won't be the ranks in game. Yeah. Guild title. President. What the hell is Devil on about? What, on the Storm Discord? What Storm Discord are you on? That's not there online. Last chat in general was from me and Ju2 talking about something completely unrelated. I think I need to do a couple of bits in game. Oh, the lighter side. Thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. Can I use it? Yes. There we go. Officer chat. Nothing in there. Announcements. Visual Studio. Member chat. I don't know what you're looking at. Yeah. Not the case. Your squad commander. What rank were you before you were squad commander? To reset rank, yeah, it hasn't changed. I don't know what shit you're reading from Devil, but stop reading it. He's trolling you or something, bud. Because you are, you can see it on screen. Squad commander. I can make you a general if you want. Would you like to be general? He trolled you. Yeah, what bloody thing is he on, right? Right, this is the Storm Discord. It looks like that. It's really quiet. Ju2 was the last person to say anything. We were talking about different games, announcements. The Devil. Yeah, oh, AO shot. Well, whatever. He's on this server. He's not in control of the guild in any way. Member chat. I was saying, I was telling everyone, quick, if you want to get in the beta, blah, blah, blah. That was it. There was no switching org ranks or any such shit. Oh, you want to be general? I don't think I can do it, though. Org promote from squad commander. Oh, hang on. From org promote would give you general. No, that worked. Chat doesn't. There you go. Now you're a general. Yeah, whatever. What bloody Discord is Devil running? Because it's not part of Storm. I am El Presidente. Me. He must have bugged the org, but I think maybe because the chat is down, but no one's ranks have been reset. I can do that. I type org reset and it will reset everybody's rank. But I'm not going to do that because that just makes 10 times as much work for me re-promoting everyone every 5 minutes so they can access the guild city and yada yada yada. No. If it didn't come from me, it's probably not correct. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? There you go. Yeah, I've no idea what Devil is talking about. It's not a conversation I've had with Devil. So I've no idea. Yeah, I think it's the chat engine breaking is the problem. I don't think it's anything to do with Storm especially. And you just went up a rank anyway. I can just as easily demote you, but I can do that when you're offline, but there you go. Demoted for asking questions. Your insubordination displeases me. No, if you need general for something, there's not a lot between general and squad commander, to be honest. In terms of rank, mechanics and stuff. It was more like if you were a general, you were actually in charge and were expected to do things. Yeah, squad commander's enough for the city, but if you want to be a general, be a general. I mean, you know, Storm's kind of a ghost town these days, so. How much work would you say it takes to level a toon to 220 as a casual? Well, how casual is casual? You know, if you play every day and do your dailies every day, a couple of months, just doing your dailies. Do your dailies, a few quests, some Inferno missions or whatever along the way. Look after your faction. Yeah. 2-3 days a week. Yeah, a few months. What's the rush? You'll get there. It's not like you won't. After all of this newsish Humpty Dumpty content, which is great, his London Towers, it got destroyed by AO Sharp and boxers and exploiters. I just don't even look at PvP anymore, it's that broken. I challenge you to a duel. Me and my team of 16 NTs that have got 50 token boards each on. Yeah, it's just... what's the point? You know, I mean, if you're going to cheat, nobody cares. You've achieved nothing, really. Yeah, you're going to slow down after 210, everybody does. Plus, faction becomes a bigger thing. Slows down a lot past 200 unless you're getting power leveled. Well, yeah, no. Say you do 3 dailies a day and 3 Inferno mediums solo. You'll get there pretty quick. Quicker than you think, but it's not about getting to endgame every time, is it? You know. Yeah, the Inferno missions, as soon as you're 190, you can pull them in your own level range. Excuse me. You can do the Shadowlands missions in Adonis, you can do them in Penumbra, you can do them... Yeah, you just talk to the same guy in each garden and they will give you the missions. If you're high enough level. I think there's a guide on what level you need to be on AO Universe. But other than that, yeah. I usually don't bother with them until I get to Inferno, but yeah. Have a neutral N220 NT. But, you know, playing it, I feel like I'm putting my kid in control of a nuclear facility. Little bit. Yeah. Once you get Garrux and stuff like that. Yeah, and the other thing, you can't get all your best gear solo in this game. It was never designed to work that way. So if you want to do the DB quest, you need friends, you need help to do certain stages. Some of it you can solo, yeah, sure. But like, you're not going to do, you know, like the informant on your own, no matter what. I don't know any class that can solo the informant on their own. And then you want your alpha box and your beta box, and again, that's going to alien playfields, which you have to be in a team, at the very least, usually a raid group, to even enter. So, yeah, the game's just not designed around being a solo player to maximize the character. It's designed around playing with other people, which isn't a big stretch for a massively multiplayer online game. Yeah, with NT, get to 3k matter creation, everything else is +% nano damage. Got a lot of these guys in this mission for some reason. I keep thinking they're the boss. I'm like, no, don't kill him yet. And the beast is not soloable unless you cheat. If you cheat, yeah, you can solo everything in every game ever. Well, you're cheating, aren't you? I mean, I soloed Alduin at level 1. Yeah, you went tilde TGM God mode. Yeah, well done you. You know, not really. You know. Yeah, 2 or 3 days a week. That's about all I play. And when did I make this character? January 4th. We are level 211 and it's May. But the only time I play this character is on stream. So that you see there's like a record of everything they ever do. Rather than edited highlights of what they do, which is what the Let's Plays do. With this, it's like, here's all the grindy crap. You know, because this is the reality. You know, don't go and do stuff offline because it's convenient. Oh. I've got one of those missions where you're going to get all your sided shadow breeds really easily. They're quite rare to come by, actually. We got one once and we started pulling people into the mission to come and loot. Everyone's got max shadow level now. So I've just got shadow level 2. You know, the what was it? Yeah, so now this is AoE Tunnel of Light. Perception for 400. It'll carry on. The next one gives you Perception Ridiculous. But it's very difficult to get this mission. It seems to spawn randomly. By the way, if anybody watching this is like, I really want a lighter side, hit me up and bring a mission duplicator key and we'll make it happen. Because normally most people get them from beast raids or whatever, but they do drop in missions if you get the spider mobs in a particular mission, which this seems to be one of. It's very weird, but that's how it seems to work. If we get a third one, I'd just be like, please make them something you can trade with other characters. Like if this guy drops one, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, there's a video of someone soloing the beast in less than 20 seconds, but they're clearly using cheat engine to do it. I mean, that's, you know, I can make 1 and 1 equal 1 plus 1 equals 3 with my cheat engine. Oh, bully for you. You haven't changed the laws of physics or mathematics, you've just cheated. It's not the same thing, is it? You know, really. Yeah, the more faction you've got after 200, the quicker you level because you get more XP per kill and stuff like that. And yeah, you know, there's quite a bit to it, but yeah. I mean, the happy days of alien raids where there was just tons of free XP. Yeah, they're gone now. I leveled some characters real fast with those. Died a lot as well, granted. But for me, it was more about, you know, just coming together for an event and just having exciting, fun times and then dying hundreds of times to Seekers, and dropping from a great height into suicide gates. And yeah, it was a slightly odd experience for me as a player, but it was pretty cool for everybody else. Alright, see if he drops one. No. That said, that was pretty good running to get 2 that quickly. Oh, Mortig Predator. I mean, I could kill it with a bow. It would just take twice as long because the bow I've got is so much less damage than just using MA skill. That's why we're using MA skill, which is why it's a bow MA, sort of, until we get a better weapon. Alright. Getting another beer. I think we're alright. I'm just going to give you another... That'll do. Maybe a heal. There we go. No grace today. I do them once a month. We did have a bunch of donated graces They've now all run out, unfortunately. So over the years, that is a hell of a lot of graces that we gave away. But I still buy a grace code and give it away on stream once a month off my own back. So yeah, if you're not here for that, then fortunately, you've missed it. Not made of money, you know. Wish I was. Not because I want to be rich, just all the cool things you could do with money. Can't believe we've got 2 lighter sides from this already. Spider. See if we get another one from this guy. Yeah, Vulpu donated many lots of graces for about 4 years straight. Can't expect the guy to keep coming up with more, you know, it's just not on. I mean, maybe they made as many from trading or whatever, but even so. It's a lot to give away, even if you've got a lot. Is chat still broken? Yes it is. Smoke Trail, greetings all. Just noticed you are streaming the old game I used to play and wanted to watch now. It's been all these years. It is indeed an old game. But I've never really stopped playing it. So he's sort of been back there. Communicating through pet rename is tough, yeah. I mean, there's Discord, folks, you know, I mean, you can chat on Discord. Yeah, the game chat engine's broke. Oh my god, it's number 3. There you go, so that gives me that one, the choice, which gives you 1000 to perception. That's going to make getting scope on this character a lot easier, I'm not gonna lie. If you've got a key duplicator, I'd start hanging around outside cave about now if you want any of these that are dropping. Yeah, using pet rename. Yeah, have they not said anything on the official forums or anything? Probably not, but out of curiosity. One new post. Chat stopped working. Yeah, there we go. Someone's actually... Oh, wrong window. Hang on. Where's that gone? Oh, yeah. I was playing, chatting with Org. All of a sudden, my chat stopped. Org, chat, vicinity, whisper, relog, nothing. 17 views. Yeah, no one uses bloody forums anymore, especially Funcom. I don't seem to, anyway. We're waiting for more info through Discord. Yeah, well, I'm not on the official Discord anymore. As soon as Ark was disbanded, it had no moderation. It just turned into a cesspool. Like someone would say, oh, when did such and such happen in game? And I go, oh, I remember it was blah blah. And they go, Source? Pardon? Source? Me, I was there. Source? I cannot do with that bullshit, so I left. It was a straw on a camel's back, not a one particular thing, but there was just way too much of that. What's your sauce? Me, I was fucking there, dipshit. You know, I mean, it comes to a point where it's just like, oh, do you want me to dig up a forum post I made 20 years ago? Okay. Or you could just listen to me saying I was there. Last time I saw a GM on the official Discord was the days after they closed down all the volunteer programs. They had to because of the change in the law. But they came on like, oh, the big Mr. Willy Wave, I'm going to shut you new kids up. And then realised they were talking to a bunch of people older than they were. Did not really pan out the way I think they hoped. Yeah, it was like, well, I was there, and this is what happened. Sauce? Sauce? You like some fucking, I don't know, some weird person in a restaurant that wants extra, I don't know, ketchup or something. That's horrible. The old peeps, when youngling tell us how things was back in the day, and we're like, no. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was like this. Sauce? That's so annoying. It grates. Hey, who's sauce? Me, eyewitness. I was effing there. You know, that's... It carries no weight whatsoever anymore. You have to produce a link from a forum at that time, or I'm not going to believe you. Well, fuck off and don't believe me then. I don't give a shit. You know. I don't care what you think. Honestly, guess my goat though. That righteous indignation and I'm not gonna believe you unless you can prove it to me. Well, don't fucking believe me then, because you're not worth my time trying to prove it to you. I wonder if they're the same. Were they the same as a kid? You know, like, you know, dad or grandpa says, fire bad, fire hurts. Sauce? Stick your finger in the fucking fire then and find out. Jesus, what's wrong with people? Are you sure you were there? Well, me and fucking the whole server are sure, yeah. Right, Guys, does anyone want lighter sides? Because they're dropping like candy in this mission. And I mean like candy because these are not difficult mobs. Oops. Walked into the room. Should have checked it first. Well, I hope they get the chat server sorted out. Because, you know. Yeah. Fluff around and find out like we all did. Yeah, exactly. God, public information films in my era, like the 70s when I was a kid, they didn't pull any punches. They said, this is why you don't go near drop-down stations for the electricity board. You know, where the pylons come in, there's like a building, it's all fenced off. And there's like pylons and wires and stuff everywhere. If your frisbee lands up there and leave it there, you've lost a frisbee. And then would graphically show you what happens if you touch that goddamn wire with the frisbee on it. You know, a smouldering corpse. Aka, Luke's adoptive parents on screen in the middle of daytime TV. Those were the public information films we had as kids. They were like, we're not pulling any punches. You mess around with this shit, this is what's gonna happen. And we were like, oh yeah, electricity, bad. Oh, 120,000 volts, yeah, probably a bad idea. You know. Sauce? Go put your hand on that wire and find out. I'm taking damage here. I've got 2 mobs on me and they're both, like, hurting me. Stop it! Right, it should get easier now. Right, I'm just curious. Nope. Didn't drop on that one, but it dropped on the other one. Yeah, I mean, public information. I mean, Google public information films for children, 1970s. You'll go to YouTube and see some of the most disturbing crap you've ever seen in your life, but they didn't sugarcoat anything for us when in the 70s. Kids were told, hey, don't mess with this because that. You know, and we watched it as, you know, waiting for Blue Peter to start, and watched it and went, holy crap, I'm never doing that then. I've seen that one recently. Yeah, I mean, I doubt the videos are monetized on YouTube if you watch them. Just because of how dark the content is. But yeah, they were real, like, don't do this because they were trying to keep us safe. They were like, look, this is scary crap, don't do it. Oh, familiar of Lord Mordeth, okay. Yeah, it's pretty dark stuff, but that's how TV was then. I mean, we're the same generation that watched Threads and Day After Tomorrow, not the Hollywood blockbuster Day After Tomorrow with the mini Ice Age or whatever the hell it is, which is a cool movie anyway, but it's a movie. No, it was about what to expect in the event of a nuclear attack, and it was the bleakest thing you've ever seen in your life. In Germany, there's a cartoon series about a sponge and a turd exploring space in all kinds of weird topics. Okay. As always, Germany fascinates me. What the hell? A turd and a sponge. Okay, that's different. Things were better back in the day. A bit younger myself, only 76, but yeah, things have really changed. Oh my God, out of all recognition. Ever since about 2000, everything's just like, doesn't make sense anymore. It you know what I mean? It's like, David Bowie caught it as well. I remember him, like, in a Paxman interview saying how much the internet was going to change the world, and everyone was like, well, it's just another fax machine, isn't it? And he was like, no, this is a big thing. He totally got it. Bowie got it, you know? Fire Stoll, I'm 78 myself. I'm only 56, and even to me, the world's unrecognizable from when I was a kid. I'm in the youth of old age. Apparently, I am told by my reliable and older friends and family. But yeah, going grey. What? Oh, chat might be working again. I think chat could be working. Alright, all the crap you posted before. Is gonna spam past your eyes. Aquatine Hunger Force. Sea Lab 2021. That kind of... What? I remember watching a cartoon as a kid back in the early 70s called Aqua Boy. I think. And it was on just before Champion the Wonder Horse. That's what I remember. Let's just see if that's a thing. Aqua Boy. Was that really a thing? No, didn't look like that. He was like in a red wetsuit or something. Oh, Aqua... there's no... Yeah. No, he didn't look like that. Or any of that. Had a red wetsuit and he... there he is. Marine Boy. Okay, there you go. He didn't look like that. But he did have the big eye thing. And he had aqua gum. I remember that. He had aqua gum that allowed him to breathe underwater. Okay, so we got that guy. What's the percentage? 79%. Have we got more mission we can get to? Okay, let's try sneaking. The snark saying nyuk, 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 nyuk. I don't know if I remember that. I definitely remember Aqua Boy though. Crap, we got the boss. I don't want the boss. Go away, we need to kill you at 90 odd %. Fast Leave Country, how are we doing tonight, my mans? We're doing okay. I've got one of those weird Inferno missions where I've got 3 lighter sides very, very quickly. Right. But I'm now bailing out of the mission because I've pulled the mission boss, who I do not need. Otherwise, I don't get the reward, you know. Never watched much TV back then, but it wasn't hard to try and get a... What? Channels in Denmark back then. We only had 2 channels for most. Yeah, we only had like 3 TV channels when I was a kid. Channel 4 came when I was a teenager. Channel 5 I actually worked for. Then we had Sky in the background, but that wasn't a massive take-up. And then we got digital, and suddenly we got millions of channels. Yeah. When did Channel 4 launch? I remember Channel 4 coming on air. I remember watching the countdown for it to start. And it started with a TV show called Countdown. It's like a puzzle game with words and numbers. Letters and numbers, actually. Channel 4. When did that actually start? November the 2nd, 1982. Yeah, I was 13. I remember it. Sauce. That guy. He's like, I don't know what the guy's called. You know the meme. There's a meme now for people that do it. So I hope they are aware of it. Images. Source. Yeah, there we go. Todd! He's like the today version of that guy. Internet arguments in 2034. Things used to... I'm sure there used to be snow in the winter. Source! Yeah, those guys. Don't be that guy. Just don't. Yeah, we had Marine Boy, apparently. I thought it was Aqua Boy, but apparently it's Marine Boy. I remember Aqua Gum. He used to chew Aqua Gum, and it allowed him to breathe underwater, and I absolutely thought you could get that stuff, and I wanted it. And I also wanted to be the man from Atlantis, with a very young Patrick Duffy, but wasn't to be. The best countdown comedy I've ever seen is 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. So if you Google it on YouTube, if you type 8 out of 10 Countdown, you'll find a million videos of it, and it's just comedians playing the show with the 2 other hosts that are normally on, and they just go nuts with stuff. It's so funny. There's the one that does the numbers, and then there's the really pretty woman. Oh God, what's her name? Not Judi Dench. Something like that. Anyway. Rachel hasn't passed away. She's like the youngest one there. No, Rachel did the numbers, but there was the other one that was really pretty. Countdown. Oh God, TV show. Yeah, her. What's her name? I forgot now. Yeah. There she is. I know you're going, oh, she's a bit bookish and a bit... Susie Dent. She's gorgeous. I know Rachel Riley took over on the numbers. But I don't know, I just find Rachel a bit obvious. whereas she's not. I don't know. I'm an odd fish, I guess. 8 out of 10. Yeah. I think the best things they ever did was when they are mock presenting another TV show. That's when they shined, really. Yeah, Sean Locke, yeah, he did pass away, and it's very sad, but he was only on the show because 8 out of 10 Cats did the show. He wasn't a regular on the original show or anything like that. Oof. You know. And Sean Lockett was an hilarious comedian, but he wasn't a regular on the original Countdown. She was. Whatever, I've just closed her down. Yeah, Susie Dent has been there since the beginning. She's on Twitter. She comes up with words of the day that you've never heard of. 8 out of 10 Cats, more popular? Don't know, maybe. But Countdown had a fanatical following, but that was the first show on Channel 4, and I remember Channel 4 going live in 1982. Soft! I was there watching the coloured number, you know, the bars of the 4 changing, waiting for the countdown live. And the first thing they did was a show called Countdown, and we all went, okay. You know, it was just bizarre. You think they'd open up with something dramatic or compelling. Oh, QI is the bomb. QI is just the best. Yeah, but Judi Dench, yeah, she's always had a bit of a special. I've always had a bit of a thing. Don't know why. Just something about her. Her manner, the way she speaks. Just her, basically. She's hot. Well, to me, at my age, yeah. I mean, Judi Dench, not Judi Dench, Susie Dent, back in the day. I mean, you look now and you go, oh, she's an old lady now. Yeah, not that old. How old is she, actually? She's not much older than me, I don't think. Search for Susie Dent. Not only is she, like, hyper intelligent, yeah, she's like 5 years older than me. 4 years older than me. Actually, at the beginning of the show, when we were young and everything else. It's just, yeah, just something about her. Something about her that can't be quantified. It just can't. Yeah, 60. I'm 56, mate. So, to me, not that old. She's only 4 years older than me. To me still now, and I'm 30. Well, you know, you hit a certain age where you look at Sigourney Weaver and go, yeah, no, yeah. You get to a certain point. People go, oh, Sigourney Weaver back in the day, and you go, Sigourney Weaver anytime. Sigourney Weaver right now. Regarding the game, is there a class you would recommend to start with? Oh, why do I keep getting asked that? The easiest class to play is probably MA because you do not need a weapon. But that's infinitesimally unimportant depending on the kind of play style you like. Do you like being someone in control of pets and the NPCs around you? Do you like that style of play? You know, calm that mob, fight that mob, etc., etc. Or do you prefer something else? You know, it's got to be what you enjoy. That's the best class to play, not something I recommend. Fast Leave gifted a tier 1 sub to Zinzig. Thank you very much for the gift. It's much appreciated. Okay, I'm now retracing all my steps. Zinzig, welcome to the stream, good sir. It has been a moment, but it is good to see you. All right, I've just heard the phone ring. That usually means one or two things. I've got to go, or I've got to go. It could be either. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure we're going to finish this mission. What percentage are we on? Let's scroll. 96%. I'm going to chance it, you know, because I don't think I've got much longer than that. Yeah. Oh, Fastly, appreciated. Hope you're still enjoying Norway. Yeah, you're a lucky guy. I'd love to visit Norway. Just as a tourist, let alone, you know, live there and work there. That would be amazing. Have a good one, and thanks for today. Well, yeah, thank you. Maybe one day I will visit Norway. I think I look like I've been mistaken for Norwegian 4 times. In the town I live in, someone came over and immediately started speaking Norwegian, I think, to me. And they, I thought you were on the coach with us. No. I'm a local, what do you want to know? And they were like, well, how do we get to so-and-so, so-so? Oh, and in like the best English you've ever heard, even saying that as a Welsh person that lives in Britain and hears plenty of English people. One of the few countries you can still enjoy. What? Enjoy. Ah, right. I don't know, that got strange there. Would you play what you like is... No, it's not, because the difference between playing an MA and playing an MP is vast. With an MP, you're in control of at least 2 pets and often 3. You're also trying to manage situations rather than fight your way through them. Is that more you? Then that's MP or crap should be the class you play. If you prefer just diving in headlong and like I'm doing now, and punch the mobs in the face, if that's more your style, then that's what you should do. You're not going to enjoy punching them in the face if the way you like to play is to control the situation and the environment. You know, so it really is about what do you like? I mean, play the class type that suits you first. That's what you should do. Anyway, let's see. Is anyone else playing Anarchy Online? Probably not. Probably everyone's on Dune Awakening, unless it's finished. Ooh, Durst Games is playing. Are you? Are you actually playing? Yes, you are. Okay, Durst, you get a raid because you are actually playing. No. Anarchy Online. There you go. You play, you get raided. Don't know what's going on there with it.
Experience, but
oh yeah, he's got like an animated head instead of his own head. But I mean, that's cool. At least he does respond to people. Right, okay, so we're all gonna go raid Durst. It looks like he's outside West Athens, it looks like. Game's kind of frozen at the moment. Not sure what's going on. I've got no control over the, stream quality. Fix a lot. Yay for raid. There we go. So we got 35 viewers, 25 going. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Right, we're going to go raid Durst. Love you all. Miss you all. See you in the next one. Probably Wednesday. Depending on how the week goes. Depends how tired I am at work on Tuesday. But until then, bye for now. Again.